Hi, and welcome to Retirement with Jim. Today, we're going to talk about, does your credit score matter much in retirement? The pros and cons. Um, and before we get started with that, if you like my content, please consider hitting the like and subscribe, and leave comments to what you like and don't like, for that matter, about today's subject. Let me know. Be happy to hear from you, happy to respond. Let's get started. So, the pros and the cons. So let's look at the negative side first. The negative side, excuse me, I've got some notes down here. Negative side is your income does decrease when you go into retirement. Just stands to reason. You're not working that job. You're not making as much money anymore. Your debt to income ratio will fall, or should fall, if you are in retirement. But if you don't carry a lot of debt into retirement. So it's something to think about. You got to think about whether you're going to make any big purchases. So if you are not going to be making any big purchases, well, you're probably okay. And most of the time in retirement, you're not going to. For the most part, you're kind of like, you've got the things you want in life, and you've bought and paid for them. So without a high credit score, you certainly that would be a challenge to you to purchase something, that would be a major purchase. Your credit card interest rates, it will affect those. So the lower your credit score, the higher the rate you're going to have. In all likelihood, not going to affect you, because you probably have had your credit cards for some time, and you're probably at a lower rate based on maybe your credit history and what you've been, spending and paying on a regular basis. A lower credit score will, of course, affect your ability to get good insurance rates on your car as well as your home. So you want to be able to, have a better score. So once you retire, it doesn't matter so much because that's established. But a lower credit score will definitely put you in the ballpark of higher interest rates, and put you in higher insurance premiums, as well as home and car. And last, if you are renting, that can be a problem. Bad credit score, a low credit score, will keep you from being able to maybe get a security deposit. So if you, for some reason, are renting as opposed to, have a mortgage and own your home, it's something to think about, because a lower credit score is certainly going to give you a challenge when it comes to getting and having a security deposit. On the positive side, you want to pay your bills every month. You don't want to carry over a balance. By paying those balances off every month, you are keeping you're giving yourself the best chance to have a high credit score, and keeping, and that kind of goes hand in hand with the next one, which is keeping a low balance. So keeping a low balance, paying off your balance every month. Paying it off every month and keeps you from incurring interest charges. And by keeping your balances low, it makes it easy to pay those those charges off every month. You're just in better shape. So the next one is, don't close accounts. You're closing accounts, you end up with that much less available credit. So it's not always in your interest, even if you're not using that account. Don't close it, because it affects the overall availability of credit, which of course affects your overall credit score. So it's important to not close accounts unless it's deemed an absolute necessity. Maintain your accounts. Now, you might not use them all the time, but you know what? Use them occasionally. You want to look at, for instance, you want to look at who offers you the best terms of cashback rewards. My wife and I, we use a couple of cards that we use on a regular basis, and that's because the cashback rewards are well worth it. If we just paid, for certain groceries and things and services out of our debit account, well, we're just lowering our debit account. But by using the credit card, we get rewards and points, and we use the rewards to lower the credit balance all the time. Pay, you've got options of what you want to do with it. Take the cash or apply it to your balance, and there's all kinds of things you can do. We like to apply it to the balance because then it lowers the cost of the goods that we bought, and we benefit from it. We'd be buying those things anyway, paying for those services anyway. It's a win for us because we end up with money coming back to us, lowering the overall cost of what we're doing. So it really kind of makes sense, to do that. And of course, you want to review your credit history yearly, once a year at least. Sometimes twice a year. It wouldn't hurt. All the credit agencies offer a once a year look into your services for free, and you can make sure that there's no one has opened up any accounts in your behalf. Nothing nefarious going on, and everything looks proper. I kind of suggest you look at it more than once a year to make sure everything looks right and looks correct. So it makes sense, to keep an eye on in today's world against scams and anything that can come to harm you. But kind of the pros and cons, it makes sense. And when you think about it in terms of once you retire, you're not going to make many purchases. So are you worried about your score? Nah, your score might eventually drop as, they realize, of course, there is a decrease in your income, but by that point, they're not going to drop it much. And and depending on how many cards and accounts you have open, how often you use them, banks are getting a little bit leery because of the economy. They get nervous, and if accounts aren't being used, they might close them. So remember, it pays to periodically use them just to keep them fresh and keep the accounts open. But a lower credit score overall in retirement, not going to hurt you. When you're younger in life, yes, you strive to get to that magic point where life is good and that credit available really helps you. So, do you have any comments about that and any thoughts? Let me know. So with that, I'm going to call it a day. Tell you I'll see you in the next one.